Hello everyone, it's Brian here, and this video is brought to you by the letter F. This is a continuation of Jakob's alphabet challenge thread, which some time ago Jakob said he wasn't doing anymore, and then he decided to do it again. So I'm going to soldier on using CDs, and I picked out some Fs, maybe too many, because I was showing 5 from previous letters. I don't know, maybe I went overboard here, but we'll see how it goes. And, well, let's just get right into it. When I picked these CDs, though, they weren't at random. I grabbed some, but I left behind on the shelf things that were a little too maybe well known. So all the Flaming Lips CDs I left on the shelf. Robert Fripp, including the League of Crafty Guitarists and a League of Gentlemen, etc. Even Canadian band like FM I left over there. Feist, some other ones. But so here we go. The first one is Bernard Felice. Now, when I'm handling this now, I realize I have a lot of Montreal artists in my collection, which is very strange. And many of them are connected to Godspeed You Black Emperor. This one is not, but it just reminded me of Montreal. So this is a Montreal musician. His first solo record from the year 2000 called Do or Do. I'm not really sure what the correct pronunciation there is. And on the front we have some sort of guitar tablature, which ties into the back cover, which shows the which number each finger is if you're following tablature. And this is in a slipcase, which has some more guitar motifs here, notes and chords, etc., and the tracks on the back. So this is, as I said, a first solo record from him. He was writing music, or had been writing music for some ensembles in Montreal. And to describe this music, I think the best way to describe it is experimental. He's a Canadian electric guitarist and composer, but working in the sort of experimental or maybe even abstract realm. He's also written music for theater, TV, film, dance, etc. Here's the inside. So I think it's a really interesting thing that I haven't listened to in a long time. In fact, I was thinking about that when I decided to choose CDs for this thread, because about 11 years ago, when I unboxed my record collection that had been sitting in boxes and set up my turntable again, I started listening mostly to records. And of course, I haven't really bought many CDs since then, and I don't listen to CDs very much anymore, although I should, really. Number 2 is a CD from a band called the Fatal Flying Guillotines, or Guillotine if you have the French spelling. And well, that's a great song title, or a great album title there. If you can't see it, the subtitle is A Fictitious Real-Life Account of Young Love in the Streets, although the image is of a plane crashing and disappearing pandas, which is kind of alarming. And there's the back. That long paragraph is just credits, really, and thanks, and the song titles. And tying in with the album title, or the band's title, the band's name, I should say. These musicians seem to have all been decapitated. So they're from Houston, Texas, and this is from 2007, their third album, I think. And they're like a noisy punk band. That's essentially what they are. Here is the plane crashing. Kind of an alarming design for a record cover, but again, I haven't listened to this in a long time, but it's actually, as I recall, it's actually pretty good. And then I chose 5 things from a band called Fatima Mansions, or Fatima Mansions. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And they are an industrial EDM, maybe even a bit of alt-rock band from Ireland. This is a single, really. It has 4 tracks. It's called The Only Solution, Another Revolution. There's the back. And the inside with this rather cool piece of art. And there are 4 tracks on here. There's 2 versions of Blues for Ceausescu, which I think fits in with the revolution theme. And then we have Chemical Kosh, 2 versions of that. This is from 1991. I don't know if, I have a friend who saw them in concert years ago in maybe Scotland. I don't know. And this is a promo without an insert. I don't know if it's just missing or if there wasn't one. Promotional, not for sale. Kind of a compilation of this band. So it has some songs from there, but also Interestingly, the second track, after Only Losers Take the Bus, we have a track called Stigmata, which is a Ministry song, which they cover. And then the fourth song, you'll see it there, is called Shiny Happy People. And yes, that's a cover of the REM song, which I had to say sounds nothing like REM. In fact, you could probably listen to that song and then not even know it was REM. So, an interesting compilation. Here we have a single called 1000%. And on here we have a song called 1000%, Hive, and Angel's Delight. Interesting. And then another version of 1000%. There's the back. And this has 1000%. It has one of my favorite cover versions of a Leonard Cohen song. It's Paper Thin Hotel, and that comes from the Leonard Cohen album Death of a Ladies' Man, which, if I were to rank Leonard Cohen records, it would be in the bottom two, maybe second last. But there are a couple songs on that album that stand the test of time. The production by Phil Spector kind of destroys the record, but there's a few songs that survive it, and this is one of them. The original is actually pretty good, but the version on here I think is really excellent. And then there's a third track called 1,000,000%. This is from 1992. It's a fun listen, and the Leonard Cohen cover version is quite good. Evil Man from the same band. Also this is from 1992, and it has Evil Man, Only Losers Take the Bus, in brackets Dump the Dead, and Hive, and Evil Man 2. Fun stuff. So let's move on to two albums from a Canadian indie rock band from Toronto called the Fembots. Not the kind of fembots you're probably hoping for. This is their second record from 2003, Small Town Murder Scene. And every time I talk about Canadian music, I always wonder if Rob from Northern Revolutions is familiar. So I'm wondering if he's familiar with this band. Who knows? One of their claims to fame is that they use what I think were described as junk instruments. So in addition to normal rock music instruments like guitars and drums, they would have, I'm not sure what they meant by junk instruments, like maybe things that are past their best before date, or just beat up, or maybe unusual. Because, for example, Jason Tate is credited with drums in musical Saw, so that's kind of funny. Anyway, that's it. Second one is their third record from 2005 called The City. By the way, they had 4 records. I think they had 4, and I'm not sure if they're still going. The fourth record had a song I really liked, but I can't remember the title of it. So, interesting Canadian band. And, as I was thinking about Godspeed You Black Emperor, because in Montreal, they're kind of like the locus point for music, and many things are tied to them, even with 1 or 2 degrees of separation. So, this is a band from Montreal called Feu Thérèse. The album's called Ça Va Cogner, and the guitarist here is the guitarist from Fly Pan Am. And of course, Fly Pan Am has members that have flowed between Godspeed You Black Emperor and Fly Pan Am. So there's that linkage. A rather disturbing band photo on the back here. And here's the inner part with the song titles, etc. And I'm not sure how to describe this. This is their second record from 2007. From Constellation Records. Now, I love Constellation Records in Montreal. They have a lot of really interesting artists, and this happens to be the 2007 autumn catalog. And I'm wondering if they would, I guess they wouldn't honor these prices. They seem a little too good, but this is a really interesting band. I think I prefer Godspeed You and things like Fly Pan Am better, but they're really out there. It's a little as disturbing as the album cover itself. Films. This is a handmade, by all accounts, CD case. And you'll note here that it looks like someone with a pen, you can actually see the pen marks, wrote these on, and I think stuck these letters onto the CD. It's made in 2002. Well, it says recorded spring and summer 2002, recorded at the SWCC, and worthyrecords.com. I went to that URL when I grabbed this one, and it just says coming soon. I guess maybe they're rebranding or something. I have no memory of where I got this, and I'm going to guess that the only people who have this CD are the family and friends of the band and me. I used to listen to it a lot. Haven't listened to it in ages. Can't remember what it sounds like, but I remember that I liked it. so that's kind of weird. So, yeah, I don't even. Where do you buy these blank white CD cases? It's a DIY project. And then the next thing I wanted to mention was an outfit called Final Fantasy, which is really the name given or chosen by Owen Pallett to brand himself under. So it's Owen Pallett, but he called himself Final Fantasy. And this Has a Good Home, the first record that he did from 2005. He was a Canadian violinist, keyboardist, vocalist born in Mississauga. I even remember the date. For some reason, I remember he was born in 1979. And the booklet on here is actually pretty good. There's some nice drawings. I don't know who did the drawings. And lots of information. Apparently, Owen Pallett's favorite band is OMD, but he also likes things like the Eurythmics and whatnot. And I think his music got pretty good reviews. He recorded that one as Final Fantasy, and then there's the second one from 2006 called He Poos Clouds, which I think my kids would find really amusing. And there is another booklet in here, of course. And then I think he, with the next record that came out in 2010, after a bit of a gap, called Heartland, Heartland CD, you can find this in two versions. You can find it credited to Final Fantasy, and you can find it, I think you can find it credited to Owen Pallett, because he was then concerned about confusion with the video game. So, and this has a stitched-in book with lyrics, etc., and a CD tucked in the back here, which is just a plain, boring CD. But anyway, really interesting music. Again, I wonder if Rob at Northern Revolutions is aware of him. And because I mentioned Fly Pan Am so many times, I'm going to show some Fly Pan Am CDs. And I have some on vinyl too, but the first challenge with Fly Pan Am is trying to actually describe the music, because to some people I would think they would find it really irritating. I lent one of these to a friend of mine and he just couldn't get through it because it's highly repetitious. There's sounds in there that are just maybe grating to some people, like this constant sort of, I think it's maybe in some effort to, there may be some effort to really irritate the listener, but on the other hand, I find it quite enjoyable because I love repetitive music that goes on for a long time. So tracks here that just go on for like 15 minutes or whatever the length is, I think are really, really, really great. So I'll put the album titles on the screen because I'm not going to pronounce them properly, probably. But this is the debut, Fly Pan Am. I should have noted the dates, which I will not remember now. And the Constellation booklet, or 1997 to 2002. So, wonder if there's prices in. Yeah, there are prices in here. So, a Canadian, you can get an LP for $13. I think that's probably not the price anymore. And see, it just looks like that. So that's Fly Pan Am. I think that was the first one, maybe listed as a EP, possibly. We have this one. I love the album design too. I think really cool album design. This was Constellation. I was trying to remember the catalog number. I think these are quite early catalog numbers. This one I don't see. This one's Constellation 11. Always with the catalog. Really cool. This is the next one. It's hard to see even the writing on there. And the inside. Again, a really strange sound to the music, but I just find it really, really interesting. And I'm sure lots of people would listen to this and find it really irritating. N'écoutez pas. Fly Pan Am. This one also has the Constellation catalog from 2004. All right. And they generally just have these cardboard slipcases for the CDs, but challenging music, but I think really, really incredible. And then to round it out here, because I have time, I guess, we have two CDs from Fred Frith, who is a multi-instrumentalist, maybe best known for being with Henry Cow back in the day. These are both from 1991. And I don't know, maybe, I'm not sure how well known he is, but if you want to get a sense of what this is like, just look up Some Clouds Don't by Fred Frith, lead-off track of this CD, which I find is quite fun. And just looking at the back here, I just noticed that Bill Laswell is credited as, on bass, and Fred Marr, who played with Lou Reed for years, is on here as well. So, of course, Bill Laswell was on so many recordings. Anyway, really interesting music, which I should listen to again because it's been a while, but I remember really loving those records. So that's it for the Fs, and at some point I will go on to G and maybe bundle them together instead of showing so many. But thanks once again for watching.